It's another episode of Coffee with Coach here at Lassus. I'm Shane Alvarani. This is Ben Boudreau. And Benny, we're finally here, the final weekend of the regular season, and you're kind of in a unique spot because you got your playoff spot already locked up, but you actually can dictate who you play in the first round since you're playing Wheeling the last two games of the regular season.
Absolutely, but if I've ever learned anything, you don't want to face somebody. You're just going to be prepared to face anybody that comes our way, and that's our mentality. Is we're going to focus on our own destiny here and how we're going to play, but it is fun to control that. And if we win the two games here this weekend, I may see somebody that's not the Wheeling Nailers and see where that goes. But I do know that we've got a winning record against all three potential first round opponents. So again, our focus isn't on who we play, but more about how we're playing heading into the playoffs.
And you would think in the final two regular season game, you would have your roster set, but you're not. You're still tinkering around and seeing who's going to show up these last two games, and it may dictate who's going to be on the playoff roster.
Absolutely. I mean, we had to bring in a couple forwards this week that will come out here very shortly about who we announced that we're bringing in, but we've also suffered some injuries. We still have players in the American Hockey League that we shouldn't expect for the first, maybe even the second round, depending on how things go there. So we needed to make sure that we have enough depth when we look at our roster to be able to compete for the long haul here. So if you look at the history in the Fort Wayne Komets, we got players like Felix Martineau, Anthony Petruzzelli, even Master at the end of last year, where we've had to add guys in the last week of the season, and they've been pretty good for us here with results. So no different than any other year. We're continuing to try to make our team the best possible team it can be heading into the playoffs.
And speaking of Anthony Petruzzelli, 250 straight games as a Comet. Incredible.
An incredible accomplishment. There's nothing else you can say besides how impressive it is, and the consistency. I mean, back-to-back years, 17 goal scorer, coming back here, hitting an all-time high, becoming your captain. I mean, you look back on the 250 games, you had a championship into the mix. I mean, Anthony Petruzzelli is a Fort Wayne Comet. He bleeds orange. There's nobody that's happier than myself to see him achieve that mark, because it is just downright impressive. You rarely ever get to see it. So 5 straight seasons, he's been here every single game. That's hats off to Anthony. He deserves all the credit in the world.
And there you go, another episode of Coffee with Coach here at Lassus. Shane Alvarani, Ben Boudreau.